It hit me right in a funny place. Like I think it, like the center of funny, it hit me right in there. Okay. when I got to tell the story, I go back to that second. Like this is legit the funniest thing that I've heard all year. I've been seeing this on YouTube a lot. It's the water challenge. I used to be able to scull bottles in like 3 seconds. I'm not sure how I'll go with this, but actually I better get away from the computer. I might. Oh, it made my eyes water. Now I'm seeing silver stars. I'm seeing silver little. Oh, that was crazy. Alright, it's Friday. Already a couple hours into today. Lots going on. This week's been big in the trenches week. I suppose this last month's been in the trenches. Today, main focus is finalise. We've got the CMG website there. Not the main website, but an opportunity for people to be able to put their hand up who want our help now. It'll save me from, getting dozens of Facebook messages a week saying, yes, we can help you, but we don't have anything for you to look at just at the moment. So that's going to be good. Then we've got our Authority Academy. Actually, we've got a 3-day Authority Academy event coming up at the end of September. Actually, Emily reminded me last night, 6 weeks until Bali, so I'm looking forward to that. Unleash Your Greatness, running our Bali escape. So there's some things actually I need to do today on that to tick some boxes. And yeah, so lots on, lots of different projects happening. So the question is, how far out should you promote your webinar? And it's a huge, there's so many variables to it. But in the ideal situation where we've seen most success, 3-4 days out using paid traffic is a perfect sort of time frame. If you're emailing your internal list, 2-3 days, even sometimes day before is pretty popular. Again, it depends on the timing of your webinar. You're having it in the morning, midday, evening, etc. But if you're trying, don't take my 2 or 3 days out as gospel for you, because if you've got no email list and you don't use paid traffic and you're just trying to put a post up on Facebook, don't be surprised if you only get a handful of people show up. So it's relative to what your end goal is. So I always say this, I go, what are you prepared to give up at the front to get at the back? So if you know on a webinar you're selling a $1,000 course, and you know that for every 100 people that turn up you can sell 5 of them, you've just made $5,000, right, gross. Then you go, well, if I was to use paid advertising, how much would it cost for me to get a webinar registration? So let's say it cost you $5 to get someone on there, and let's say you get 200 registrations, that's $1,000 it would cost you, right? But only half of them show up, let's say 50% show up. So then out of those 100, like I said, 5 people purchase, you've just spent $1,000 to make 5,000. Right, so it's just getting the maths down pat, because it's not and it's hard when it's your first ever webinar. If you've never done a webinar training before, you don't know your conversions, you don't know if people are going to buy your product or service. So a lot of the time you just got to take a risk. You can try it out organically, and you can try it with 10 or 20 people who show up, and then you're going to get data from that. But again, the data is not going to be as good as if you've got 100 people on. That's the bottom line. As the numbers don't lie. Then you need to work out what's the back end of it all. What's the process? Why are you even doing the webinar? Right, if you're just doing a webinar training just to share some knowledge and you're not pitching or selling anything at the end of it, then the question becomes, is it worth using paid advertising? Because why would you spend $1,000 to get 100 people on the webinar if you're not selling them, you're not making the money back? So you just need to understand your ROI. If businesses just understood their ROI, they'd probably be shocked at the reality that they're not actually spending as much money as they should on advertising. Especially for coaches and people who offer high-level premium products. Let's say you sell a $25,000 a year coaching program. What are you prepared? Like if I said to you, here's a $25,000 coaching client, how much would you give me to give you that person? Would you give me $10,000? I don't know, it depends on what your deliverable is for the 25 grand. Would you give me 5 grand, 2 grand, 1 grand, $500? You just need to figure out what you would be willing to pay and then figure out how you can get those leads for that value. Simple as that. A coach's job is not to give you all the answers. A coach is to help you become the best version of you, to become the best business person, to become the best human being, the best footy player. That's what a real good coach is. Like you don't see a coach go to his star player and teach him how to sidestep. You don't, because that's the innate ability. What you do is the coach's job is to see and teach that player to be able to see the gaps that are ahead, to be able to feel better under pressure, to be able to handle situations, because the coach isn't there on game day. The coach isn't on the field with you. Like the coach can't tackle that 200-pound person in front of you. So how that relates to business, it's simple. Is a good coach will ask good questions and will help the person find the answer. Of course, there's a mix of giving enough, this is what I think you should do, go and do that. Like I do give a lot of that direct, do this, do that. But the Socratic coaching method is what it's all about. You know, we had some new inner circle members jump on the other day and I said to them, my job is to get you to a point where you don't need me. Because I'm not going to be there all the time. I'm not going to be there when something happens, when you're under pressure and you've got to make a decision like that. You can't just rely back to someone else all the time, you know. And a good coach will help you see the brighter light. It'll help you see the brighter you, the better you. So. Took me a while to get into it, but I'm there. I-class open the doors as, look, we're open for business, apply, or we're actually out there aggressively seeking business. We're not at that yet. And it's the sort of business as well, you can't just, it's not like an online course where I can open it up and have 1,000 people jump on board. There's a lot of work involved because of the quality of work we're bringing as well. You know, we're not just a digital agency that is going to put a post on your Facebook fan page, you know, or run a basic ad to a landing page. It's far more than that, it's far beyond that. You know, we're serious about helping businesses who are serious about getting results. You know, so there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that needs to be, you know, organized, sorted, so the execution can be delivered at the highest value, and that's what it's all about. We're building a team of people who are very skilled at what they're doing, which is a huge advantage. You know, you're not having to just bring people in and teach them all the variables, and you got to look at things such as Facebook advertising even. You know, I mean, Nick's had massive experience in that area. He's been on it for years. You can't teach that. You know, you can't teach that. I've talked about the reference of it's like learning Chinese. You can learn a little bit, you can understand bits of it, but it's not until you're thrown in the deep end in the middle of China and you have to live there for years that you'll really understand the language, you know. Facebook's a language. So finding the right people for the right positions and then being able to execute plans around that is key. That's right. And that's enough for me. Out of here. Thanks for tuning in, but be sure to make sure you do this. Like and subscribe. Subscribe, hit that button. Hit that fucking button, man. No, don't put that button. Put it in. Do it. No. Don't put in yes, do it. No. I don't know. Do what you want. I hope you liked today's vlog. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, tap the like button, the love button, subscribe button, any button that you see around this video, I'm sure you can tap it. Also, please be sure to leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.